Much for taking the time and joining us. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. We now move on over to the Middle East, and reports in Syria suggest that 2 soldiers were killed in attacks by the Kurdish forces. This comes as Syria's army has announced that it has taken control of the town of Deir Hafer, located east of Aleppo. This came after Kurdish forces agreed to withdraw from the area following recent clashes. Reports say that the Syrian army has established full military control over Deir Hafer, with troops heavily deployed inside the town. Meanwhile, Syria's Kurdish community has expressed dissatisfaction with a presidential decree issued by President Ahmed al-Shara. The decree, which recognizes Kurdish rights and designates Kurdish as an official language, was still welcomed as a first step. But Kurdish leaders said that it did not meet their expectations. Moreover, the Kurdish administration in northern and northeastern Syria has stressed that rights should be safeguarded through permanent constitutional reforms and not temporary decrees. Additionally, in an effort to address the escalating situation, US envoy to Syria, Tom Barak, is set to meet with Mazloum Abdi, the general commander of the Syrian Democratic Forces in Erbil. This high-level meeting is part of Washington's renewed diplomatic efforts to prevent further military escalation in northern and eastern Syria. Joining us now to discuss this situation in Syria is Mati Zaweg. He is a geopolitical commentator. He joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, the situation in Syria remains volatile, especially in that Aleppo region. If these Kurdish forces agreed to withdraw, why were Syrian soldiers still killed? Who's actually controlling these fighters on the ground?
Well, Thomas, thank you for having me. As you know, and you say it very good, the situation is volatile. And when you say the situation is volatile, it means that the breaching the agreements from both sides is something that is common. I mean, the army was taking full control of the city of Aleppo and the surroundings. And let's not forget that we are talking not about the SDF deployed in Aleppo itself, but about 45 to 50 kilometers east for Aleppo in places like Deir Hafer and Maskana. And they were redeploying from there to the other side of River Euphrates to the east. And the question is not the geographical question or the redeployment. The question is why you have several armies inside Syria, and what they fear that the central government are not keen to unite really the country, but by the throw arms and throw weapons to make have a vision of a fully controlled Syria from the central government, which is basically Muslim Sunni and with jihadist roots. And this is the biggest fear, and the facts have been that they are trying to slaughter Kurdish, Druze, Christians, and of course Alawis. And now what is happening is that the al-Shara saw that he has no alternative but to be aligned with the vision of Trump, which means take care of all your country, but don't slaughter everybody. That's what's going on. I mean, because some elements in the central government, they have still jihadist point of view. And now the Kurdish are trying to defend themselves and to get some opinions from the central government, like you are our brothers, you can use your language, but let's weaken you until further notice. And this is not a good perspective for the future, but for now, this is working for the alignment of Syria with the West and with the United States, especially that they are trying constantly to take out, and successfully by now, from Russia and Iran in the area. And that's what we have today. What you say about Mazloum Abdi, he's called really Muslim Kobani, because he's from the area of Kobani. And the Kurdish, of course, are trying to defend what they think is the base of the Kurdish culture and areas in Syria, to be prepared also for further developments in the future.
And of course, Matti, we've just passed about a year and a month of a Syria without Bashar al-Assad. Of course, Ahmed al-Shara has the extremely complicated job of pulling Syria together, restoring sovereignty. Of course, the Kurdish situation is extremely complicated. However, what we have seen today is designating Kurdish as an official language now. We've seen individual Syrian Kurds being given or promised citizenship, which was previously stripped from them in 1962. However, Kurdish leaders are still unhappy. What is missing from this, and what's wrong with these actions that al-Shara has put forward?
What is missing is the feeling of not only the Kurdish, all the minorities, that the central government has a truly will of uniting all Syria as it was known in the past with the former borders, because still all the borders have not been achieved from before 2011, and that they are going to respect all minorities in a kind of federal country or a fully integrated country. I think it's a process. The central government not only has to declare that you are my brother, they also have to show it, integrating all minorities in an equality way, and then everything is going to be fine. But this is not what is happening now, so they are unhappy, as the Druze are unhappy that Israel is going to do some security agreement with the central government of Syria. Maybe they are going to be exposed again to slaughtering. So the central government must show that they really want integration. Until this happens, the situation is going to be volatile and everybody is going to be unhappy.
Matti Zaweg, thank you very much for joining us. As always, it's a pleasure to speak to you on these issues. We now move